All right, what's up, everyone? Let me get situated here a little bit. How's everyone doing today? Um, there, I think that's good. Hope. There we go. So, what's going on, everyone? Hope everyone's having a great Saturday. Whoever's watching in different parts of the country or in another country, I am in uh, the United States. I am actually in the state of Florida. In Fort Lauderdale, Florida is the city, and I am actually staying with my parents right now during this quarantine time. And yeah, just kind of been enjoying the weather here. It's been nice because I'm usually based in New York City, and so it's been a nice change of being out in the sunshine every day. As you can see, it's popping through that window right there. But yeah, if you guys don't know who I am, actually, I'm gonna wait another minute or two in case anyone wants to hop on before I really get into anything. But yeah, I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida right now. I just really, I think, very thankful for the the time that I have down here to stay with my parents, to connect with them again in a more intimate setting, and you know, it's the family, it's the friends, it's the people you love that really mean the most right now, and we need to really just we're all in this together. Obviously, you hear that all the damn time, but we really are, and it's so important that we support people that need it right now. And there's more people, there's different people struggling in different ways, and that's why I love that I'm able to be a part of this event, raising money for the animal sanctuaries. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching. If you haven't made a donation, and you can, please do so. You can reach it veganhealthlive.co.uk. Um, Unable to connect to my chat. Okay, so you guys aren't able to chat with me right now. Hold on. Let's see. See if you guys see this. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna just get into it, guys. I am a full-time model and commercial actor. Uh, I guess I do a lot of different things, but that is my main source of income. I'm a vegan activist, sustainable living activist, big into the environment, anything in regards to the environment. And I am a health and wellness coach. I'm a certified personal trainer, a fitness nutrition specialist, certified by the National Academy of Sports Medicine. And yeah, and I'm also I work with a nonprofit called the Our Children's Earth Foundation. I'm the director of sustainability for them. So yeah, I have a lot on my plate, but I've been able to align, most of my passions into my work. And I think whenever you can do that, um, you come out, just feeling more fulfilled, and you come out of it just like thinking like, wow, I get to do what I love for my work. So that is something. What I always try to do is anything that I'm interested in, and I try to interweave it into work where it's either going to not only help me, make an impact towards other people, but also provide myself some income to survive. So yeah, I've been a model for 3 years now. Prior to that, I was running my own business. I was in a transportation business, basically party buses for college students. Um, and it was a complete opposite of how I am now. So I'm a big believer, in anyone can make positive changes to their life whenever they want. Um, I am 37 years old, and for most of my life, probably for 34 years, I, you know, ate meat. I didn't take any regard to the environment with the impact I'm creating. So it wasn't until I actually opened my mind up to going vegan that it kind of let so much more into my life. And that was right around the time when I got into the modeling industry, and from going vegan, and I did it for nutritional reasons, just because I was interested in the nutrition side of it, and it just opened my mind to so many other doors that just led into the way that the meat industry impacts the planet with the emissions being created, the greenhouse gases. And for me right now, I probably live a more sustainable lifestyle than most people. um, I always try to look at how I'm doing something and is there a better way to do it. So that's a good kind of way that I look at things. It's just, say I'm brushing my teeth, like, can I do this in a more eco-friendly way? Is there a product that is causing less of an impact on the environment? Because we all need to brush our teeth. So, and that just stemmed from one thing to the next. I didn't dive all into it right away. It just started out with, a reusable bottle. And just seeing how many water bottles are created, plastic water bottles that are created every single year, was mind blowing. And thinking, okay, well, if I can just carry my own water bottle with me and not buy any water bottles, guess what? I'm not only saving the planet, I'm saving money. And that is what I'm about. I'm about aligning those things. And also, it's going to really help your health. So it's like three different things that it's like a triple win all the time. I say, most of the eco-friendly things that you're doing are just reusing. So you're saving money, and you're also creating less of an impact on the environment. So you're saving the planet, and then also, you know, a lot of the eco-friendly things that you can be doing are avoiding chemicals, and usually you're saving your health. So those are the three main things I live by, to try to incorporate all those things, especially since I'm, big into wellness. And I think it all starts with you. You have to take care of yourself, and you have to feed yourself the right things, and you have to put yourself out of harm's way so you can be your best self towards everyone else. And I do personal coaching. My platform is called My Fittest Hour, and it's just, I'm a big believer in just taking 1 hour a day into your own personal well-being, because it's going to carry over into so many other aspects of your life. So if you take an hour a day, that's not a lot of time. It's literally what, 1/5 of your day, 1/4. I mean, 5% of it. I mean, not even 1/5, 5% of your day. So when you think about it like that, we owe it to ourselves to give ourselves that time. And if you don't think you have the time, I'm happy to help you guys show that you do have the time, because there's plenty of time. We are just not utilizing it in the right way. If you come home and you watch Netflix all day, of course you're not going to have the time. But sometimes you got to put yourself in the discomfort zone. It really helped me, and you know, throughout my whole transition, and things that I've learned, and that I'm still learning, and that I'm hoping to learn moving forward, some of my future plans. But I have a pretty solid routine, and I'm always looking for, still, even if there's another better way. I think that's the thing about growth, is you're not afraid to kind of look at things in a different way once you think you already know. Because even if you think you already know that this is the best way, there's something else that's out there. It's amazing how much, how little we actually know when we try to start diving into knowing. So I will kind of start with just basic everyday living products that you guys can kind of incorporate into your lives, when we are kind of more so out of the pandemic, and we're moving around more often, because it's a little bit easier to not come in contact with these different things right now. It's easier to reduce our waste in certain ways, because we're not going out as much. We're not going to coffee shops. We're not going out to eat as much. So these are things that will help you when we get back out into a semi-normal routine. Obviously, it's going to be the new normal. But why not use this time to create a new normal for yourself in another way, not just because of the pandemic caused it. Why not use this time to learn something that is going to better your life, better the planet, and save you? So if anything speaks to people right now, it's the money saving. So let me show you how to save some money, guys. Okay. So first off, we got a few like everyday things. Like I said, I mentioned the water bottle. If you're someone that thinks they need plastic water bottles, you are highly mistaken, unless you come into an area where there is no potable water, where you're actually getting clean water. Um, what you're just literally throwing out money if you're paying for water bottles when you don't need to. A lot of the tap water is fine, and there is a lot of little filters that we can buy, like even like charcoal filters that will help clean the water a bit. But the number one thing is just, I mentioned it before, is carry a water bottle. This one is a collapsible water bottle, and it's made by Stojo, Stogao. I will write it in here for you guys. But I don't know if you can see, and my chat still says it's not connecting, so I don't know. But either way, this doesn't take a lot of space, and that's what I think I like. I like the minimalist aspect of it, and this is a great thing just to carry around. Look how much it just folds up into this little thing here. So that's the thing, though. Just because you don't have one of these doesn't mean you can't just carry something else and reuse it. So a lot of times, before I actually got water bottles, I would just empty out a jar. You have a glass jar that you use that you bought from the store. Guess what? That's a water bottle right there, guys. So it's not like we need fancy things. The most sustainable thing you can do is actually reuse the things you have. I actually was given this, and that's why I take it. And I actually really like it because it's so small, because the glass is susceptible to breaking. But yeah, don't think you need to go buy new things. That's the thing. That's the number, maybe one of the number one things I actually learned when I first got into like the sustainable living aspect of things. I was looking for all these new, fancy things, and at the end of the day, it's just really about taking the things you have and reusing them. So, and I'll show you guys on the next thing. So I bought this at the beginning of my journey. This is you can carry this silverware set with you in your bag. And I bought this, I think it was $10 or something, but what is the difference between just having this and taking some silverware out of your damn drawer and wrapping it up into a little napkin? Not too much. So just remember that you don't always need to buy something new, and that's like a fancy little nifty thing. Yes, this is nice because it's compact and it has everything like that. But honestly, if I had to do it again, I wouldn't buy this. I would just wrap a napkin, a reusable napkin, around some silverware and bring it with me. So keep that in mind. You don't have to buy new shit all the time. And let me get on to one of my favorite actually products that's been created. And I got this a couple years ago, and this is called a stasher bag. It is a reusable Ziploc bag. It is made of silicone, food grade silicone, so no plastic. And food grade silicone is a very, very, there's not an amazing amount of research on it, but it is better than plastic. I can tell you that much. And it is reusable. That is the number one thing. It's not leaching a bunch of chemicals into your your food. With, I bring my snacks in here. I usually bring like nuts or seeds or something. So, yeah, this is it's really about planning ahead. And I think when I think about anything with sustainable living, it's always been the reason why it's been so hard for us to live a sustainable lifestyle. It's because at the end of the day, people are thinking that it's more convenient because they don't want to carry an actual coffee cup, so they throw it in the trash. But the thing is, they don't connect the dots. Like when we throw it out, where's out? There's no away, like we're not throwing something away. This doesn't disappear. And we have to keep that in mind. We have to relearn how to act. And what we think is convenient is really inconvenient for the planet. So just because we don't want to carry something this damn small around, that the planet has to suffer for future generations, Yeah, that just doesn't make sense, and I think it's just really, something that we've been trained, go and get a water bottle from the store, get a coffee cup, from Starbucks, and then toss it away, and poof, it's gone. Someone picks it up for you, but it doesn't really disappear, and that's the thing. So, we need to keep that in mind that maybe it is, it's convenience, for us to just not carry a cup around, but it's not a convenience to the planet, honestly, and especially the future generations. I don't have kids personally right now, but I hope to one day. But I have nieces, and even the other people that I don't know that have kids. I care about their kids. I want them to see the same beauty that I see on this planet, and that's kind of what I live by. I try to think about that, like why I get to see this beautiful life ahead of me, but I don't want to leave it trash for everyone else. So these are a couple things. Obviously, there's reusable coffee cups you can find out there. Um, I don't really use it because I don't drink coffee on the go. If this is a super simple trick, just have a cup of coffee in a coffee shop and ask for a glass cup. It tastes better out of a damn cup, anyways, a glass cup. And slow down and enjoy the coffee. And that's what I believe. That's why I don't have a reusable cup, because I'm not on the move trying to sip my coffee. Like these are things that have been produced that taste really good, that are for our enjoyment. So why not sit and bask in the enjoyment of that? Just a thought, guys. Not even crazy thought. I didn't invent that, but it's something that we should think about, because if you really think about where, what it took to produce the coffee beans that got you the coffee on your morning cup, or whenever you go to Starbucks, it's pretty crazy. And once you kind of show more of an appreciation for the food that you're eating and drinking, then you realize that we're all connected to that. And why not slow down and enjoy it? And that's one of the things actually I've been doing, during this pandemic time. A lot of people are using this time for different things. Me personally, I've been trying to learn new things. And one of my biggest interests right now is farming, sustainable agriculture. So, I've been researching different documentaries and learning how to grow my own food, because at the end of the day, if we learn how to grow our own food, it's just like printing money. You know, you don't have to go to the store to buy it. It just takes some effort and some work, but at the end of the day, you're going to yield different benefits from it, not just the food, but your efforts put into it. And it's going to feel even you're going to feel even more connected to your food, because you're actually taking the time and work to do it. And if this pandemic has taught us anything, it's we don't know how to survive if people are panic buying in the store. So it's because they don't know what's going to happen. What happens today if the food stops coming in the store? What are you going to do? You might as well learn how to grow your own food. And I started. I literally started with just buying microgreens. And if you guys have never heard of microgreens before, they are very, very easy to grow. Simplest thing you can grow, and they're packed with nutrients. I'm going to show you. So these are microgreen seeds. I got them from Amazon. So they take about 8 to 10 days to sprout, and yeah, they're super super nutrient filled, super easy to grow. It's really hard to mess these things up, guys. So if you're looking to get started in any type of growing your own food, you can grow these indoor. Even more, an easier thing to do, because if you can grow in any location and it doesn't matter about the outside area that you have, all you need is a little tin. And I highly suggest getting started with just some microgreens, and then you can branch out into other things. I got a big garden out in the back right now. There's several different things, but I just want to show you one more thing about the plant stuff. Look at this thing. Look at this beauty. See this? This is from a sweet potato, guys, and it is a beautiful looking plant. And all I did was, and you don't even need to cut it in half. All you got to do is put it in water. And I think this has been in water for about 6 or 7 weeks now. and now it is starting to sprout these slips. And these are the slips that I will eventually take out and plant in the ground. But if you, and the only reason why I'm going to really plant them in the ground here is because they grow really well in Florida. But even if you didn't plant these in the ground, eventually these leaves will get bigger, and this plant will get bigger, and you can eat these leaves. So boom, free salad. Pretty amazing, right? I know. So uh, just there's so many different things we can be growing just from the scraps that we get in food. Like, with if you use romaine lettuce, cutting off the bottom of that, and that is sustainable living. You're not wasting the food. You're reusing it. You're reusing it to grow more food, and it's just literally look up how to grow what you can grow from food scraps. There's several: celery, romaine lettuce, chives, a bunch of different herbs and stuff like that will just grow from there. And obviously, you can grow it from potatoes, but those are the things that are going to really separate, saving money as well, but also just reusing, not throwing away the scraps. And that leads me to another thing that I really started doing when I made my shift to sustainable living. I started learning about composting. And if no one's ever composted before, it's really super simple. And I was really fortunate in New York because they have compost collection. So I would just collect my food scraps, and a good way to do that is just put them in a bag and put them in the freezer, so then they don't start smelling. And then I would drop them off every week. And instead of that going to the landfill and causing methane gas, which it does when food can't decompose properly and it's stuck in a plastic bag, it's creating a gas that's even worse than greenhouse gas that just comes out from the emissions. It is that much worse for the environment. So that is another thing. If you guys don't realize how big of an impact that our food waste creates on this planet. And that is a simple little step that you can start doing with your food scraps. Like, I got my parents, I bought them a tumbling composter, and we just collect the food scraps every day. And I go out there, dump it in there, turn it up, you got to just mix it with some dry organic ingredients. Like, I just gather some dead leaves on the ground out there, and then boom, guess what you got? You got free soil, guys, to grow more food. Pretty, I mean, you're turning something that you're already throwing away, and then you're turning it into something valuable. Now that is sustainable living right there. And not only is turning into something valuable, you're saving it from turning into something invaluable, which is methane gas, because that is going to screw us. So yeah, that's definitely a big thing, and an easy thing that you can do to really make an impact on the planet. And if you don't, you can try to look up, if you guys have any you know drop off spots near you. Look up a local farm, because usually the local farms will take that because they know the value. That is black gold right there. The the soil full of nutrients is black gold, because it allows you to produce delicious food, and it's the nutrients that help the food grow. It's organic for fertilizer. So it's delicious plant food. So please, that would be the number one thing. Probably next to what I'm going to get into is the vegan diet. So if no one is vegan, or if you are vegan, or you're playing around with different plant-based options, that is probably one of the main reasons why I ended up sticking with being vegan. Was, at first, it was for nutritional purposes, and then another thing that backed it up was the whole aspect of how much uh, less emissions it's creating. And at the end of the day, if we can try to make all these different changes to our lives that are kind of out of our control, whether it's protesting. And not saying there's anything wrong with protesting, or anything else, any other action you want to try to do, but this is actually something we can control. We can control what we put into our bodies and what we buy. So that is one of the biggest ways that you can speak sustainability, is by just what you purchase. And so I highly suggest, if you haven't really dove into any sort of a vegan or plant-based diet or even tried it, um, that is you're going to connect with it in different ways than maybe I did. But that's one of the easiest ways if you care about the environment, you care about the future of this planet, to make a difference. And there's a lot of things going out there right now with, especially in the United States, with certain meat industries, meat factories closing. And I don't think people really realize how unregulated it is here, and how many diseases are that's a disease-prone environment, and how just it there that's just a whole nother thing to tackle. But if anyone wants to dive more into the vegan diet or have any questions for me, I know my chat, I don't know why it's not working, but feel free to I will put my name here. It's the underscore vegan model on Instagram. Feel free to shoot me a message. I'm happy to answer any questions. And yeah, I'm gonna go into a couple of things that I actually make on a daily basis, or not on a daily basis, but I make product wise, and it saves me money. It saves me from buying something at a store that is in a plastic container, and it obviously saves the planet or saves your health, because obviously you're controlling the ingredients, and that's a big reason why I started making my own stuff. I thought, well, the stuff that I'm putting in my body, the food, I'm putting all plants in my body, I'm controlling the plants I'm putting in my body. But what am I putting on my body? What am I putting on my skin? What am I putting on my shirts? Like, these things, are they covered in chemicals? It's still, you absorb these chemicals through your skin. So I am going to go over a couple things that I make. So here is right here. This is sugar scrub, and it's very, very simple to make. It's just get some organic sugar, because the non-organic is I believe charred with like bone char, like from animals, which means it's not vegan. So try to get organic soap, and then all you do is get some oil. I use olive oil for this, hence the color, and I put a little coconut oil in it. And simple as that, you got some sugar scrub, and guess what? Didn't cost that much, and you made it yourself, and you don't have to deal with all the other chemical ingredients in there. And it's super simple. Don't even worry about the measures. Just do it until you get a good consistency. So sugar and oil, and I use this about once a week. You gotta exfoliate, guys. Gotta get that dead skin off. So you can regrow beautiful looking skin. We'll go on to the next thing. See this? This is homemade mouthwash. So if you guys never, I probably would have never guessed that mouthwash was this easy to make, but I dove in. I just opened my mind up to the information that is on the internet, and there's so much there for us. And this is all water with baking soda in it, about a tablespoon of baking soda or two, and I ended up putting some calcium carbonate in it. It's not necessary. It's just good for your enamel. And then I put peppermint oil in this, essential oil. So a couple of drops of peppermint essential oil, and you get that clean feeling. So that is another super simple product to make. And then you just shake it up every time you want to use it, and just rinse with it. Same thing. And a lot of these different mouthwashes out there obviously come in plastic containers, and they have a bunch of other ingredients that we cannot pronounce. And these are all plant-based ingredients, so you don't have to worry about spitting that down the drain and then it polluting the groundwater, because that's another thing, guys. A lot of these products that we're using, soaps, etc., and they will pollute the water, because obviously the chemicals that are going through the system might not get flushed out from whatever people are cleaning the water, so they will go in and pollute the groundwater that we're drinking. So why would we want to pollute our own drinking water? That's the main thing. And so keep that in mind. So I'm going to go on to the next product that I make. Um, and all these are not the containers that that they came in or anything like that. I just reused containers that I had and made it. So as you can see, this is my face moisturizer. I make face moisturizer. Yes, I do, guys. And this is another simple thing to make. I used what did I use for this one? Jojoba oil. I used what else? Coconut oil, or actually jojoba oil, shea butter, and cocoa butter, and I melted them on a little in a little jar, over a burner and actually a pot of boiling water, and they come and they melt down and they start mixing together, and then once they cool, you put them you put them in a cold environment, or you can let them sit on the counter. But once they cool, they form into a moisturizer. You can add other little things to it. I mean, another great thing to add to it is, everyone wants this retinol, which is good. It's retinol is vitamin A. I know you guys have heard of that in different face products. Well, that actually is vitamin A. We could just buy the powder and melt it into our moisturizer we just made. And then guess what? We're not paying shit ton of money at the store for these ingredients, for these different things that are supposed to help our skin. And plus, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie when I tell you this. The best thing you guys can be doing for your skin, if you're really really worried about your skin, is eating the plants, eating whole foods. So plants, vegetables, fruits, those things, and things that have bright colors. And I eat a sweet potato every day, and just things that are very very potent with nutrients, and flavor, because usually when it's very flavorful, it's very nutrient dense. And another thing that you guys can be doing for your skin that I don't make is using a product that has an SPF in it, because we want to protect ourselves from the sun, because the sun is going to cause a lot of damage for our face. And a lot of these people that are creating products out there with sun blocking ingredients in it are chemical. They're made in a lab. They're chemically made. The only true uh, plant-based ingredient that can block the sun and help us from being exposed to these chemicals is zinc. And this is a brand that I don't make my stuff, even though I can buy the zinc. It's really hard to mix moisturizer with zinc and not have a ghost white face, because zinc will always kind of it goes on top of your skin. So it's really hard to get it to where it's a shade that doesn't look like it. You're a ghost. Either way, this is a great brand. It's a Cure, Acure. I buy it, and it's a daily moisturizer. I use it in the morning and protect myself from the harmful UV rays. I mean, that's what those are the things that are going to save your skin. Obviously, protecting yourself from the sun and feeding yourself great ingredients, and then replenishing the skin. Obviously, when you're exfoliating, and then you're putting on your moisturizer at night. So yeah, that is skincare right there. We'll go into another product here that I use on a daily basis, and I think we all do, is deodorant. I've tried to make deodorant a couple times, and it's tricky, not gonna lie, because it really kind of when you use baking soda and these homemade when you use baking soda, it kind of messes up your pH balance of your skin, and it could cause irritation. But this is the great brand. It's called Pretty Frank, and it's actually a woodland smell. And I know we're used to like kind of rolling up something, but you just stick your finger in there, stick it on your pit. Simple as that. And it's a glass jar. I think I'll reuse it as usual. So yeah, this little jar right here will last me 4 months, and that I think it costs $6 or $7. Not a bad deal, honestly. And this is all plant-based materials. You're not exposing yourself to harmful chemicals, because most deodorants that have those harmful chemicals, and you're putting it on in your pits, and that's one of the areas that will your skin absorbs the most stuff from. So keep that in mind. Get a all natural deodorant. I've never had any irritation with this, but even if you guys are a little skeptical about switching over and you might get irritated at first, you have to stick with it for a week because your body is going to take some enjoy. Stick with it because you've been doing one thing all your life. Obviously, your body's used to that, but we got to detox that shit. Okay, so remember that. Okay, I'm gonna go on to some other stuff. Here we go. More ingredients for your teeth. So if you guys are brushing your teeth every day like I am, obviously we all care about our dental health. Get yourself a bamboo toothbrush because most people don't realize that this simple toothbrush here, most of them are created out of plastic, these things. And guess where they go? They go right into the landfill and they basically never decompose and then they leach chemicals into the groundwater again. So this is an easy swap, just a different handle. That's it, guys. And it actually feels nice against the skin, So keep that in mind. A bamboo toothbrush will help eliminate a lot of waste because you might not think, oh, I'm only changing my toothbrush every, 3, 4, 5 months. Well, just think about how many people live in the world, how many people brush their teeth. It's a lot of toothbrushes that are going into landfill if we don't start switching. Okay, so next thing, floss. You guys floss? Because I floss every damn day. And guess what? I didn't go to the dentist for like 15 years and I had one cavity. So when you don't go to the dentist for 15 years and they have one cavity, I think that's a pretty good deal. And I'm big into dental care, so I make sure I floss every night. And one of the things that floss creates is waste because most of the flosses out there is made of plastic and they come in plastic containers. So did some research. Look at this. It's a glass container. And you see this floss in here? It's made out of corn fiber from corn. So it's another thing you can do. Simple swap. This is the brand I get here, but you could just research corn floss on Amazon, or just Google it, and you'll get these little things. One of these little spools, they last probably, I'd say, easily like 3 months. So 2 of these probably cost $7. So it's right in line with the normal floss. Guess what? But the corn floss, you can compost. And guess what? We're not making plastic waste that the container comes in because you just refill. Open it up, refill. So those are some easy at-home things that you could buy or make, to really, really reduce the waste in your life and also reduce your chemical exposure and save your money. Save money. That's what I like to do because I don't have a lot of it. And yeah, who doesn't like to do that? But there's a couple other things that we can do. I don't have any with me right now, but just using bar soap. We buy all these soaps that are in plastic containers for our body wash and stuff like that. And one of the best bar soaps I buy is Dr. Bronner's bar soap, and they last a long time. And a good secret, got a good money saving hack for you guys. When you buy the bar soap, the way it runs out quicker is when you're getting it wet, washing your body, and then it's staying wet, etc. So get yourself a soap dish. You can make one easily, so it just gets the water off. But the number one thing is slice that bar in half when you first get it, and use only half in the shower until that runs out, and then use the other one because it's gonna save the soap that much longer. It's probably double the life of it, to be honest. And I do it, and I think a bar soap lasts me like 3 months, and that's pretty damn good. So yeah, between that and then there's also shampoo bars out there and conditioner bars, so we can avoid plastic in that way. So there's lots of different things. Even a laundry detergent. I've made my own laundry detergent before. It's, three simple things or two simple things. It's literally washing soda. Google washing soda. It's washing soda and water and essential oil, and then I think maybe one other ingredient. But Google me or message me if you guys want the exact recipe. But it's accessible via the internet. That's the magic there. So I didn't do anything crazy to find. I didn't do anything crazy to find all these different things out. I just had an open mind and I was searching for knowledge. So you kind of have to. The mainstream media is not going to give us this knowledge. A lot of the brands that are out there, they have been around so long. They have the marketing money to keep pushing the bad stuff in front of your face because that's the stuff you're used to. So you've been buying it for years. So you don't think that you should change, but you have to kind of put yourself in a position to learn if you want to make changes to your life. And that's the best way to put it is just really uh, opening your mind to another way of doing it. And that's exactly what I did. And I still look for more things to make. I even recently, I'll show you guys something. I made a soy wax candle for Christmas time. I made it for my family. It smells so damn good. And yeah, it's super simple, but a lot of the candles out there are made out of paraffin wax, which is derived from oil, um, which is bad for the environment. But when we can make it out of soy wax, we are creating less waste. So if you buy a candle that's made from like basically oil or plastic, then you are going to be breathing that disgustingness in to you think you're getting this cleanliness feel, but it's just really bad. It's polluting your lungs. So soy wax candles, that's another thing I mastered recently. And yeah, wow, it's that I actually impressed with myself because that smells really good. But yeah, a couple other things, we a lot of people are into taking different supplements and stuff, and to be honest, in my professional opinion, you don't need to be taking supplements if you're eating the right foods. And think about that. And honestly, a lot of the supplements out there, it's really just the media telling you, like, think about it. You survived this long without them. We don't need that new superfood this or superfood that. But I do believe in the essentials and making sure you have some of the essential vitamins in you that you might not be able to get where you're based or, you know, wherever, you have access to, like food wise. So make sure whatever your diet is, in a vegan diet, there's very few things that I can't get just from eating plants, and B12, D3, and the DHA, EPA. But this brand right here, Complement Plus, has put it all together in here for us. And yeah, that's the only supplement I take, and I don't even take the full amount, honestly, because I'd rather eat my nutrients. Because even the stuff that they package up for you in most things, yeah, that you're not really getting the full benefits of eating a plant. You're not getting the secondary compounds, all of them. So keep that in mind, guys, because uh, you're just going to be throwing away money if you're buying all these damn supplements because you think that you need it. It's not there's no magic pill out there, honestly. You have to be consistent with your diet, and most people will be worried more so about going to the gym every day, but the foundation for a healthy body is the diet. I'm a big believer in that, and if you can't be consistent with that, then the gym, you're just overworking yourself there, and you're not going to get the benefits that you hope for. So anyone, again, if anyone has any questions about I'm happy to do I offer a free coaching session. So just shoot me an email, or I mean a message on my Instagram, the underscore vegan model. And yeah, happy to hop on a call and see how I can help you. But I've helped a bunch of different people, but I'm a big believer in forming the habits that are going to get you to where you need to be. Because just because we have the knowledge of something doesn't mean we can create the habits that we need to do. And the main thing is just being consistent. And yeah, so couple of the things I want to go over, as far as just shopping and stuff like that. It's very easy to avoid a lot of different things going to the store. It's if you just plan ahead, and a lot of times it's just really about planning ahead, guys. And simple as bringing your own shopping bags, reusable shopping bags to the store. Easily avoid plastic or paper, and shopping at the bulk bins. Most people don't realize there's a lot of good deals in the bulk bins. I always buy oats and beans from the bulk bins, or even other grains too. But those are the things that are the cheapest from the bulk bins, and it makes you avoid packaging. So I want you guys to think about this. This is the main thing. If you're buying processed foods, it is very unlikely you're going to be able to avoid packaging, and it's very unlikely that that processed food is healthy. So just think of it in this way: the more whole foods that you buy, you can not only avoid the packaging, but you get the nutrients, the good stuff. So less processed foods in your actual diet means less waste and less effects on your health, honestly, because that's one of the biggest things that these natural flavors in these foods and stuff like that. They're really tricking our minds and to thinking that we're getting a certain nutrient, but we're really not. So I want you guys to just kind of keep that in mind when you're at the store. But it's as simple as just going and seeing what stores offer these different things. Are all the produce that you're going into the store at the store that you're going into, is all the produce packaged in plastic? Or can you find another store that has it where it's free, like free grab, where it's not in plastic, you can pick as much as you want, or you can pick a little stock of it. I always try to look for those stores. Why get something in plastic if you can get it not in plastic? And most of the time the stuff in plastic is not as fresh, honestly. And despite what you might think, it's been picked super early, so it hasn't absorbed the nutrients. So the best thing you can really do is shop from the farmers market, but that gets a little pricey. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't shop there yet. That's why I'm trying to grow my own food. Um, anyhow, yeah. So I kind of just want to really kind of touch on this. Like I talk about all these little changes we can make, which are great. I don't think we should not make these changes. But one of the biggest things you can do to really make an impact for the future is to vote and to really try to elect the people that are going to make these changes, like in different ways that will benefit the planet. And unfortunately, sometimes people don't go out and vote, and then we're dealing with certain things that are happening that are out of our control. But we must vote. We must voice what we believe in, and that's the best way to do it. And because nothing's going to change unless we actually try to make it change on a greater scale, because we can be doing all these individual actions, but at the end of the day it might not do much for the grand scheme of things. And I personally don't think that I will ever stop doing the individual actions, even though what I know. But I think by spreading more of the knowledge that you have to other people and living it, basically leading by an example, it creates this whole movement. And I think we need to keep that in mind, because that is going to be one of the biggest impacts that we can make. So if you guys need to do anything, vote. Please vote. And vote for the people that are going to bring about change, because there's a lot of changes that need to be made, and there's a lot of people doing great things, honestly. And I want you guys to keep that in mind. There's a lot of different things we can be scared about, especially pertaining to the future. But there's a lot of people creating amazing things that could help save this whole planet, and us and future generations. But we have to we have to make sure that these people are getting noticed, that they're getting into action of implementing whatever they have created. Um, so yeah, I think just want to kind of go over a couple of things before I get about 10 minutes left. You know, number one thing if you guys can do is obviously vote. It's simple, but right tied with that is the diet. You know, vegan diet, eating more plants. Maybe you don't want to go full vegan, fine, but the less meat you eat, the less of an impact you'll create, and especially the less you waste food as well. So composting, it's another super important thing, super easy thing we could all be doing. And guess what? You get free soil out of it, and that allows you to grow more food, which you can yield something out of. So yeah, like that is all interconnected, and those are the three things that I think are the most impactful things that you can be doing. But just really kind of identify what you're doing, and it can just start with one thing. But if you're identifying, that you do something this way, you have to look and see if you can do it a different way, because if you start looking at things in that manner, you'll be able to correct them. And I think that's the one thing we have not as a society done. We've always kind of taken this corrective measure, which we have to now, but there's a lot of things that we can do as the preventative approach. And if we can start really making the preventative things, especially in regards to our health, about what we put in our body and what we, do in our daily lives, we can take a preventative approach. And why wait until something happens to you to change? Why not change now? Because if you can take the preventative mindset right now, you are going to save yourself a lot of trouble later on, especially in regards to your health. I can guarantee that. I always say, like, a lot of times that I am doing these things because I want to not just be waiting to die. I want to be able to, live a good life until I die. Not just kind of like the last 10 years of it just be laying around and doing, in bed, and because I can't move or dealing with like health issues. So, think about it that way. It doesn't have to be the way we see how things have been. We can make the choices and prevent certain things from happening right now. But it takes an effort. It all change is not easy, but it becomes easier with each change you do. And I went from being a guy who owned a party bus business, who partied a lot, who was very mindless with his actions, into being basically Captain Planet. And yeah, and I didn't do anything too different, you guys. I just had an open mind, and I think that's where it all starts. If you can really, really channel that open mindedness of, you know, realizing that you might be able to do something different, and it's okay, then it just leads you into so many better things, and especially with better, not only as a better whole as a planet, but better relationships, better relationship with yourself. And please keep that in mind, because these little changes, they go beyond just the impact of the environment. They boost our mental health, honestly, and especially connecting with where these things have come from and creating things. Those are all mental health wins, because you are putting your energy into it and you are yielding something. And it's just about relearning, like I said. So keep that in mind. We're just relearning these things that previous generations have done in certain ways, and it's one of the biggest things that I always kind of channel is, and I want to be very, very straight up with you guys. I make everything that I make takes like 5 or 10 minutes. So all these like little products that I've made and different things have only taken like 10 minutes of my time, they're not tedious tasks to do. So keep that in mind. I'm not trying to go take all my time to make these things. If there's if there's a thing that I can make in 10 minutes or less with a couple ingredients or less, then I make it. And I go at that with even with my meals, with the plants that I eat and all the different things. I just, put it together, boom. And don't worry about following recipes all the time either. I just want to get that straight. That's how you learn is when you create, and don't be afraid to mess up because that's how you learn. And I've messed up so many damn times in my life that it has helped me get more knowledgeable with whatever I take on. Yesterday I made bread. Guess what? Bread only is 3 ingredients, guys. Uh, look on the ingredients of your bread in the store that you buy. Bread is flour, water, and yeast. So that's another thing. If we start making more things that we see in a package, a lot of times we're avoiding the fillers. So bread, hummus is an easy make. And one of the other things that, obviously milk, you look at it, all these plant-based milks out there, read the back of those milks. What's in those? What's in those, guys? What is those little fillers in there? What are we paying for? Think about it. We're paying for water. So why not make it ourselves and make it? And it's so simple. I like making cashew milk. You just take some cashews, you soak them for a little bit, you blend them with some water, and you get a nice creamy, delicious, milky taste. And even oat milk is super easy. Same, and it's even cheaper to make. So keep that in mind too. Is a lot of the times when you make things, you're avoiding the other the fillers that are in the things, and then like I said, I only make the stuff that are as easy, but most things are easy, and you actually you get this joy out of doing it. And I highly suggest if you haven't gotten into DIY or just cooking, it's very therapeutic. And that's the way I live, and that's the way I will continue to live. And as I go into the farming life, which I'm hoping to do an apprenticeship in the upcoming month, I will learn more about getting connected with our food. And yeah, I can pass out on that information, how to really make our own food in our own backyards, and really get reconnected in that manner. And not only just food, really nutritious food and healing food. So keep that in mind, guys. It's the all the information is available. It's really about just taking action, and I'm happy to help anyone that wants to get started with their whole lifestyle change. Even if you just want to change one thing, if you want to even just change your health, or you want to save money, or you want to just be more eco-friendly, I'm happy to help out in any way. That's what brings me joy is using my knowledge and passing it along to you guys. And I just want to say, yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't donated to the animal sanctuaries, please do so. I know everyone's kind of struggling right now, and especially them. And let's do it for the animals. Honestly, they bring us so much joy. And anything you can do. If you can't do anything now, maybe do something later. Or how about just a nice message? Because I think we can use more smiles. But thank you guys so much for watching me. You could check out, if you haven't checked out my Instagram page before, it is at the_vegan model. You can go to my coaching website, My Fittest Hour, MyFittestHour.com, My Fittest Hour. And yeah, if you guys want to book a free call, I'm happy to hop on and do a free session with you. And yeah, just feel free just to reach out if you need anything. And thank you guys so much. Have a great day. And please, please, please just eat more plants, move your guys' body, and smile more often. Thanks so much. Take care.